Good morning and welcome to We Dress to Impress Thursday and our video math lesson. All right, we're going to start with our math warm-up, and today is Theorem Thursday, and I chose this one because we've been working with measurement. You can see the question today deals with two non-standard units of measure. And we kind of hit upon this yesterday, not yesterday, but Tuesday, as well as last Friday when we used that non-standard unit of measure, our own traced foot, okay? So think back to those two lessons while you're considering the answer to this Theorem Thursday question. So the question is, would you choose paper clips or a, I don't even know what you would call that, a tongue depressor, okay, to measure your desk, and why? So again, would you choose paper clips or a tongue depressor to measure your desk, and why? Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds to talk that over with somebody at your house. And remember, it's not just giving me the answer, it's giving me the why. All right, so there you go. Go for it. I'm watching the clock. Okay, time's up. If you chose the tongue depressor, thumbs up. All right, you're right if you chose the tongue depressor. Now, you say to yourself, why would I choose the tongue depressor and not the paper clips? Because the tongue depressor is longer. It's going to take fewer of our tongue depressors to measure our desk than it is paper clips. Okay, so when we're using non-standard units of measure, the larger the non-standard unit of measure, the fewer of those that we're going to need to use to measure our item. The smaller the non-standard unit of measure, the more it's going to take to measure your item. Okay, so that's important to remember. If my non-standard unit of measure is small, it's going to take more of those non-standard units of measure to measure an item. If my non-standard unit of measure is large, it's going to take fewer of them to measure a given item. Okay, so we're going to close this out and we're going to move into today's lesson using the, hopefully, let's close out this. And we're going to use, if our smart notebook will open, we're going to use the interactive board and some things that I have found around to work on the concept of today's lesson. And hold on a minute. The concept of today's lesson is estimating first, okay? And then going ahead and measuring. Now, if you'll recall from science, at the very beginning of the year when we taught, oh, Mrs. Moran needs to find a hairdresser soon. If you'll recall, at the beginning of the year when we introduced the practice of science, one of the things we talked about was estimation. And estimation or estimating is making an educated guess, a smart guess. It's neither right nor wrong. All we're doing is guessing something, okay? And often we do that when we're measuring, all right? And so when we talk about estimating, we look at our ruler, okay? Because we know that in first grade right now, we are measuring in inches, okay? So I've made sure that my inches is up, my centimeters is down. And again, you'll see centimeters are smaller units of measure, so it's going to take more of them Our inches are more, so it's going to take less of those. And in a ruler, we have 12 inches, and 12 inches equals a foot. So getting back to estimating, I look at my object, okay? So my object is going to be my golf tee, all right? I look at it, and I look at my ruler, and I kind of think to myself in my mind, okay, it's about this big, so on here, that would be, so I'm estimating that my golf tee measures about 3 inches. So that's my estimate. So I'm going to write, I'm going to write, I'm estimating that it's 3 inches. Let me do this. Okay, now I need to see if my guess or my estimate is correct. So I'm going to take my golf tee and I'm going to remember to, maybe I'll turn it this way. I'm going to remember to line up the edge of the golf tee with the ruler. Okay, now when I look at the golf tee, okay, it's just short of those 3 inches. But I'm seeing that it is closer to being 3 inches than it is 2 inches, since all we're doing in first grade is measuring to the nearest inch, okay? We're not going to worry about the half or the quarter. We're going to see that it's closer to being 3 inches than it is 2 inches, so we're going to say that it measures 3 inches, okay? So here comes another one. Ooh, look what I found. I found a Lego block, and I'm looking at that Lego block. I'm not doing anything but looking at it and knowing that an inch is from here to here. That's an inch. And I'm thinking to myself, if this is an inch, I am going to estimate that that is 2 inches long. Now, I'm going to find out its actual measurement by moving that block over. And again, it's a little shy of 2 inches, but it's closer to being 2 inches than it is 1 inch. So I'm going to say its actual measurement is 2 inches. All right, let's look at what else I have here. Oh, a card. I found a card, okay? I'm gonna move my Lego out of the way. And again, remembering that an inch is about that long, I'm gonna say to myself, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3. Okay, so I'm gonna say again, I'm going to estimate that this is 3 inches long. So let me move my card over now, and again, making sure, ooh, now what happens? It went over the 3, but it's closer to the 3 than it is the 4. So again, I'm gonna say I'm going to measure that it's 3 inches long. Okay, now let's look at our keychain that I found. All right, and again, remembering that an inch is about that long. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm going to say I'm going to estimate or guess that it's 3 inches long. And now I'm going to put it up here. And probably the smarter thing to do is to put it that way. And it's not measured up to the end. Okay, still needs to scoot it just a little bit. All right, and it's a little bit over that 3, but it's closer to being at the 3 than the 4. So again, I'm going to say 3. Okay, so this is, first of all, estimating. I can put my object above the ruler. I can remember that an inch is about this long and eyeball it to see about how long to make my estimate or my guess. And then I check my estimate or my guess by actually measuring. Okay? So estimating and measuring. Estimating is simply when you estimate, you do not measure. Okay? You do not put anything by the ruler. When you estimate, you look at it, you remember, this is about an inch. So about how many inches long do I think the item is? That's your estimate, that's your guess. Then your actual measurement is taking that thing, lining it up with the ruler, and actually measuring it. And again, we are in first grade. We are only measuring to the nearest inch, boys and girls, okay? And again, we are not measuring in centimeters. We are only measuring in inches, all right? So if it goes past the inch, you have to look. Is it closer to the smaller inch, or is it closer to the larger inch? In this case, you can see it went over 3 inches, but it's nowhere near 4 inches. So I am going to say that it is about 3 inches long, because we in first grade only measure to the nearest inch. Next year in first grade, you will learn, in second grade, you will learn measuring to the nearest 1/4 inch and to the nearest 1/2 inch. But here in first grade, it's only to the nearest inch, all right? So you're gonna practice that at home today, all right? You will have some things that you are asked to do. And first you are estimating, remembering what an inch looks like, kind of going like this with your object and estimating and writing your estimate, and then actually putting your object down and measuring it, just like Mrs. Moran modeled it here a couple times. I know you're going to do a great job with this, and I look forward to seeing your work this afternoon. So good luck and have fun with it. See you later.